Hello and welcome back to another video. So today I wanted to talk about cryptocurrencies and the top 5 cryptocurrencies I think that everyone should have in their asset portfolio at the moment and for the long run. Okay, so a rule of thumb to start off with is that you should never hold more than 10% of your net worth in cryptocurrencies. It's just a rule for now. I think over time, as people get more accustomed to cryptos, that will change. But for the moment, this is a good risk management practice to make sure that you're not overspending and you're not getting too involved with it. So to understand the full value of cryptocurrencies, you really got to understand how money works, how we make it and who controls it. I definitely recommend you check out the book, The Creature from Jekyll Island. I've linked it down, the Amazon link down in the description. It's very eye-opening in understanding how all our money is controlled by the Federal Reserve, the central banks. And so basically the whole purpose of a cryptocurrency is that you have a digital asset where you can use it as exchange, use it as a form of currency, but it's not regulated and it's not controlled by any central bank or government. It is solely independent and it is a public network, which is left to be, it's not possible for your accounts to be closed randomly. You don't have arbitrary limits. It's solely a public thing where anyone can access this currency as long as they have an internet connection. So one thing I want to talk about with cryptocurrencies is the idea of chain splitting. So chain splitting is basically when one cryptocurrency, so for example like Bitcoin, where their founders or whoever it is have different ideologies and the value of what and the direction of what they want the currency to be. So then you get things such as Bitcoin Gold, Bitcoin Cash. So and that could be split and a problem with that is that if you're investing in like a brokerage account such as Robinhood or whatever, those chain splits could occur, and say you invested $10,000 into a random crypto and that splits up into 3 different ones. One crypto could have like $8,000, one could have $1,000, and another could have another $1,000. So the split won't be equal. So it's very important to keep an eye out on those potential chain splits that occur. Okay, so let's get into the top 5. The fifth, I would say, cryptocurrency that I think is essential to have is Dash. Okay, so Dash is basically digital cash. So the whole thing with Dash is that, it's the same ideology that you move cash from one place to another very quickly. Fees are extremely low because since there's no centralized banks, since there's no government, fees are massively cut because a lot of times when you're transferring money through banks or whatever it is, a lot of fees that get involved are because of the banks taking commission and spreads and all that. So Dash actually does not have that, and so because of that, fees are less and transferring money is very, very quick and very easy. And one of the key things with Dash, which is actually different from the other cryptos, is that it keeps 10% of the mining profits to its own network, so it can fund its own upgrades and costs to become self-efficient. So this means that it doesn't have to be, it's protected from being bought out by external corporate interest. So for example, you don't want the big banks to come in and take over this, and then basically the same problem is just there again, that the central banks and the governments have all control of the money again. So the whole purpose of Dash is that they actually take 10% of the profits. So you might think, for you it's negative, but actually it's a really good thing because they can be self-sufficient, self-sustaining, cover their costs, cover their upgrades, and be independent from that external corporate interest, okay? The next one I really recommend is Ripple. So I'm sure you've heard of Ripple as well. And the thing with Ripple is that this is more solely on the cash side and in terms of making profits and being safe, because if you're someone who's investing in cryptos for the idea of having that decentralized currency, no control of the currency, having it free, then this is not a crypto for you, because the main purpose of this crypto is for large amounts of money to be transferred from one bank to another. It's mainly used by the banks. As you can see there, they even promote all their banks here that are using Ripple. So that's going to be to look out for if you're very into the whole idea of what crypto stand for, because if you are, then this is not for you. But the reason I want to invest in this, and the reason why I think people should invest in this, is that it's a hedge against a hedge. Because say cryptos do not come into play, say cryptos do not become the currency of the world in the future, then the banks are still in control, the banks are still dominating, then this still has potential to increase and to be valuable in that same marketplace, because it might not have its own currency, so all the other cryptos could be dead, but this would be still the medium for banks to use to efficiently transfer money from one bank to another in no time, and that's huge. So this is a hedge against a hedge, and if it does, and if the cryptocurrency does pan out, then even better. It's still gonna be alive. So it's like a fail safe. It's a hedge against a hedge, and I think you guys, I mean, if you want to, obviously, it's based on your own research. You should do your own research, but I think it's a very smart investment to make, especially due to its potential that it has in both aspects. So next, I'm going to get on to Bitcoin Cash. Okay, so Bitcoin Cash, like I said, it's actually a chain split from Bitcoin. The whole thing was that there was an original dispute where basically the original chain and two main guys, they disagreed of the purpose of Bitcoin. One guy thought that Bitcoin should be such as the digital value, such as gold, so it's stored. Meanwhile, another person thought that its original value was for peer-to-peer electronic cash, for a digital currency to be used in an everyday purpose. Okay, so this is like Bitcoin in the terms of you get it, you mine it, you keep it in a Bitcoin wallet, and this has a lot of potential to be used as a daily cash, a daily currency, getting a coffee, getting your groceries, things like that. This has a lot of potential. And you should actually I recommend you guys read this white paper, they call it, by Satoshi Nakamoto. He was actually the anonymous creator of the first cryptocurrency, and he entails the desired purpose of Bitcoin in the first place, which was to be a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. So next, number 2 on the list, I think you guys will know, it's Bitcoin. So Bitcoin obviously is very famous, notorious, large scams for Bitcoins. You have all those guys in the comments, like, oh, join this, I made $10,000 in a day with Bitcoin, blah, blah, blah. The thing is, Bitcoin is very good, and the reason why I have so much faith in Bitcoin is because there's always going to be someone to buy Bitcoin. It's established itself as such a big brand, it's such a big name, that there's always going to be that person to buy Bitcoin. It's always going to be relevant in the market. And I think in the next 5 years, it could be the best performing asset. It could outperform real estate, and it can outperform the stock market. I just think it has so much potential due to the fact that it's decentralized. It's nobody owns it. Everything is public. Its code is public. I think the key to this is that it's so transparent. Everyone can see how it's made. Everyone can see the transactions. Everyone can see where money goes, if there are no hidden fees. There's none of that. It's so secure, and that's what I think a huge part of the future is the security. Having more security, having more control of your own funds, not going through banks, not going through an extra party. Just with Bitcoin, you can go from one person to the next. And a prediction of mine, based on research, would be that Bitcoin will either be, the currency, the value in the future, so close to like $100,000, or it could just be nothing. It could just go it can go to zero. But I think it'll be pretty evident, which direction it's heading in the future as time goes on. And if you look at the odds, right now Bitcoin's going for around $9,000. So $9,000 and $100,000. You just have to look at the risk margin, the margin of profit, and make your own decisions. But I personally believe this is one for the future, and it's definitely something we all should strive to own looking forward, because just go on their website, read their stuff, the importance of it with business. They minimize costs for businesses. There's no fees, none of that. It can significantly decrease costs for businesses, significantly decrease costs for just channeling information. And when that happens is that you get a community. When there's more freedom, there's more ability with finances, there's more freedom for more developers and people to share their own experiences and have a more fair and just financial scenario, in my opinion. And finally, number one, in my opinion, is Ethereum, okay? So Ethereum is another crypto, and in my opinion, like, you have the smartest developers in the industry which are working on Ethereum, and obviously they focus on decentralized applications and decentralized autonomous organizations. So decentralized applications, like I said, it's basically when there is no authority on them, there's no major central bank to go through. It is their individual currency, and it's the public, it's the people are in control of their currency and where the money is going to. Okay, so there's like a small fee, but it's nothing compared to the large fees, especially with the amount of money, which if you're using large amounts of money. And the thing with Ethereum is that not only is it for just sending money, but it's actually there are a lot more benefits, such as developers could use it to create apps, games, and different things of entertainment, but with the aspect of a lot more security. So the key here is the security. Like, your internet, your details, none of that is shared. None of your data is being picked by major corporations. Everything is secure. You're not being tracked in this or that. There's going to be a lot of compatibility. No government or company can take control of Ethereum, so that means it's impossible for you to stop receiving payments or those services from Ethereum, and you will never have to worry about, arbitrary limits, arbitrary rules, arbitrary prerequisites, because it's all there for you set in stone. It's transparent for you to see how it's made, what its purpose is, and what the future outlook looks like. It's all about making it more equal for customers to have like a more secure built-in guarantee, and for businesses to reduce their costs and to provide services, and focusing on the services rather than the fees and scamming. This, with the idea of spreads and fees getting reduced, that takes away a lot of the deceptibility, I think, of companies and corporations, and it produces more compatibility and produces more peace within companies and customers, I think. So yeah, I overall I think cryptos are a very, very good thing to invest in. I mean, the end game is that you want to hold on until it becomes the world's currency, until it becomes the new world standard, because you can wait until Bitcoin shoots up, whatever, you can sell it, like it reaches $1 million, you can sell it, whatever. But I think that you should hold on to these cryptos, especially such as Bitcoin and Ethereum, both of them. Like, those are the two main ones in my opinion. Hold on to them until they become the world standard, until they become, like, the thing is with our currencies and the way we pay people, we went from gold to cash. Then we went from cash to credit cards to digital, and now we're gonna make the switch from digital to crypto. Obviously, digital and crypto is kind of the same, but there is that big main difference, and I think the whole world, especially the modern world, is getting accustomed to that change, and we are gonna end up going to crypto. The whole idea is that it gives control back to the people instead of the government. You have control of where your money goes, you understand where your money is going, and it's completely transparent. So another thing I recommend is that when holding your cryptocurrencies, don't hold in brokerages such as Robinhood or, for me, like Trade 212, because if a chain split happens, it could be mismanaged, and there's all this extra stuff which you don't technically own those currencies. If you're using them on Robinhood or different brokerages, you don't technically own them. So I recommend you start off with something like Coinbase. I'm not sponsored with them or anything, but it's basically, you can have a wallet where you can store all your Bitcoins or your Ethereum, whatever cryptocurrencies that you have. You store them there. They're very safe. Everything is secured. You can have multi-coin support, and this is a very reputable website, reputable application. I think it's a great way to start, and you should also look at investing into a hardware storage for your cryptos. So I've linked the product in Amazon down below in the description. It's basically a hard drive. It's like a USB key which stores your cryptos, and it's safe, secure. It can work offline, so you can literally transfer it there, and everything you need, like all your Bitcoin value can be on that little one USB key. So you can't be hacked. It decreases the chances of being hacked. It decreases the chances of being tampered with. So just make sure you don't lose it, obviously, because then it could be bad news. But there's just the whole idea with crypto is that it's a lot more safety involved. There's a lot more privacy involved and a lot more control for the people instead of the governments and the corporations. So ultimately, I think it's a win for humanity because the power gets back to the people. And I think that cryptos, it has a really great initiative and it has a really purposeful and, desireful impact with its ambitions. I just go on their website, look at the different websites, understand their goals, what they want to do with their cryptos, understand how important it is for evolving in the financial part of the society, in my opinion. So hope you guys enjoyed this. Leave a like if you gained value. Comment anything you'd like to see specifically. If you'd like to see some stocks to get into, if you'd like to see, different strategies, let me know. And subscribe if you feel like I post daily on personal finance and investing. And I will see you all tomorrow.